Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm happy to be with you on here, the end of the week, the last day of my 2-week series on the greatness of God. And I hope you've noticed something. His greatness is amazing, and it's all around us. And if we will take the time to just settle down and look and perceive what's around us, it'll really be kind of obvious. Well, I have one more thought that I want to share today. It's from Psalm 145, and it's verses 3 through 7. So let's hear what it says. The psalmist says, "Great is the Lord. He is most worthy of praise. Who can measure his greatness? Let each generation tell its children of your mighty acts. Let them proclaim your power. I will meditate on your majestic, glorious splendor and your wonderful miracles. Your awe-inspiring deeds will be on every tongue. I will proclaim your greatness. Everyone will share the story of your wonderful goodness. They will sing with joy about your righteousness." This is a song about a guy who got it. And by that I mean he understood the greatness of God in ways that perhaps you and I don't quite measure up to. Now, I do know there are a lot of people who are very thankful for what God's done for them. I know I am. And are very thankful for the opportunities, the blessings, whatever that God has given to them that they wouldn't otherwise have. And I'm one of those. But if we truly recognize the greatness of God, then that will supersede everything else. Every situation that looks like there's a problem. Every time that causes us some anxiousness, it'll overcome that. As Jesus said many times, do not be afraid. You can only not be afraid if you understand that there is someone, God, bigger than whatever it is you're afraid of. Let's look at this psalm again. Great is the Lord. He is most worthy of praise. Do you praise God with your life, with your words, with your faith, with your actions, with your involvement with others? Do you praise God each moment of every day? It says no one can measure his greatness. Now, I've been talking about his greatness, but I can't really describe it in its fullness. And nobody can except God. And then it goes on to say, let each generation. Now, this is the charge to you and to me. And I don't know what you do in your family, whether you're older like me or younger like I once was, but each generation tell the children of God's mighty acts. Even today, especially to my children who don't seem to acknowledge God. Even today, I will tell them in my conversations with them of something that God did. And I'll be very specific about it. I want them to hear me say that God gets the credit for this. Now, whether they accept that or believe that is not my problem, and it's not my responsibility. I am going to tell my kids and anyone who comes to church here of what the great things that God's doing in our midst are. And it says, let them also then proclaim your power. I will mediate on your majesty, glorious splendor, and on your wonderful miracles. Not mediate, I'm sorry, I'll meditate. Meditate fits a word that in Christianity we don't think about a lot. We kind of describe it or ascribe it to Eastern religions where they have meditation. And I remember uh, years ago in a place where the schools wanted to offer meditation, and the population blew up because they said, "Oh, that's unchristian." Well, meditating, or I like the word better, pondering, to think about and think again and think some more and then think some more on the majestic, glorious splendor of God is very, very helpful. It allows you to focus on the right thing, and it gets rid of all the distractions and noise that's sometimes around our head. He says, your awe-inspiring deeds will be on every tongue. Do you have a God who does awe-inspiring deeds? Or do you just have a God who shows up once in a while? Well, if it's the latter one, I would suggest it's not God that's the problem. It's probably you, because he's always there. And he's always showing us the wonderful and incredible things that he can and does do. And then it finally finishes up. It says, everyone will share the story of your wonderful greatness. They will sing with joy about your righteousness. If we meditate on God and his actions and his greatness and his majesty, if we'll only take a few minutes each day to do that, but if we will, then we will see a God that is so marvelous and much greater than we ever imagined before. And then we will sing, you know, God doesn't care whether it's on key or not. God doesn't care whether it's melodious or not. Now, if you do it in church, the guy next to you might care, but God just enjoys the, the exuberance of a heart that's aligned with him. And I hope this week you have seen him in new and fresh ways. Thanks so much for listening. I'll be back on Monday with some other ideas. If you have a need or you have a prayer concern, let us know, and we'll do everything we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Thanks for listening. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.